Well, it's that time again on a Monday night, running just a little bit behind. But I am Coach, and I'm with
Casey,
and we are Faithletic
The
The
Podcast.
Podcast. Well, about 7 minutes behind time, but we are here. And I don't exactly know why I couldn't get it on time, but we do have it now. So
hey, you had a myriad of things that you were trying to work out, and it's not easy. That's why most of these major podcasts that are out there, have like big time producers and stuff like that.
That's why I need a big time producer, I guess, because I can't figure it out on my own. That's for dang sure.
Well,
that is
you
for sure.
You produce, you help us out. You are.
Well, and guess what?
We'd be lost without you.
I've got another issue. I don't have video.
Oh no!
Go figure. I'm working on it. Let me see if I can pull something up. But
there's
no video. So
no video, no
don't
audio,
what that
man,
is. Give me a
crazy.
second, and I'll figure it out here in a second. That is, well, it should be the one, but it's not. Well, we'll just make a new one. Maybe that'll work. Who knows? The way things have been going these days. Let's see. There's video capture. And, may have to go. I don't like doing this, but let's just let's try that. Okay. I'm there. I'm not where I want to be. I'm not with the right camera. Maybe I'll do it here in a second, but I am here, so it's the wrong camera. Oh, guess what? The other camera's not working.
Jeez Louise.
No, it's not either. It's the other camera.
What a mess. What a mess.
Well, maybe I'm a mess. Maybe that's what it is.
You're not a mess.
Kind of think I am.
You're not a mess.
Okay, so I am here. Let me see if I've got. Yeah, and you're there too. Just gonna be a minute before I figure out how to. Well, this is no fun. I'm just telling you right now. I am struggling beyond belief. Right.
Yeah, and that's what this is supposed to be. It's fun. So.
Well, I'm not having fun.
We're not having fun.
I have fun. You. It's just. Let me see something here. Which one is it there that I can't? Oh, let's try that. And try. Oh, that's why I can't figure it out. Okay. So, which one is it? That one. Yep. Okay. All right. We're gonna get both of us up in the same picture here in just a second. So, if our audience hasn't left us yet, this is not a drill. This is live. This is live radio, if you want to call it that. I don't know if it's actually live or not. Well, it is live. And it is video, so I guess it is live video. Okay. So now everyone can see us. There we are. We're there.
You did it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not what I wanted, but it's what we got right now. For whatever reason, and I've actually got a couple of little good shots there, but not really what I wanted. So I'm going to delete that one for now. Remove. If I don't remove the wrong one. Now I got you. There you are.
All right.
I've got your picture, and I got my picture, but I don't know why my other camera would not work, because it shows that it's working. So, and I may switch over to you. In fact, if you want to, let's do the top of the show. We always do it at the end of the show, where we tell people about who we are.
Yeah.
And what we're about. Why don't you do the top of the show, and let me see if I can figure something out for a second.
So if you've never joined us before, this is Faithletic The Podcast. We are, we call ourselves Faithletic because we're both men of faith, and we like to talk about sports. But we are mostly here every week at 8 o'clock on Wednesday nights on YouTube. You can always join us there. You can check us out on our social media, which is Facebook, really, for the most part. But you can always like, comment, subscribe on the YouTube channel. And you can also comment. Our section is open for us to do that now.
It is now. It is.
Yes, we'd be happy to hear any comments that you have, especially because there was some big news that broke today.
There is.
some giant, huge
Tell
news,
people?
basically.
Tell people what the big news is. There's been a couple that were. I mean, there's one that's really, really huge.
Yes.
But then there's a couple that are,
There is a couple that really surprised me.
Yeah.
The past couple of days, for sure. But obviously, the big one, if we're ready to get this show started, is the news that Nick Saban, the GOAT.
Has this been confirmed, by the way?
Yes, it has been confirmed.
Okay.
It has been confirmed that Nick Saban is retiring from Alabama, which is just crazy. I don't think anybody saw it coming at all, or I certainly didn't.
Well,
see it coming.
You've got to. I mean, he's what, 68?
No, he's like 72.
Yeah, see,
he's pretty old.
You got to get to the point where, he's had enough. I guess. I mean.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? In the same vein, I will not be surprised if we have Andy Reid and Bill Belichick follow suit this year. It would not surprise me if they just. Huh?
You think Andy Reid's going to retire?
I heard some rumbles today that he may retire.
Huh.
Yeah, which would be sad, but I mean he's getting up there in age too, and you really want these guys to enjoy their post-football careers. For sure.
I really enjoy Andy Reid. I mean, you don't hear me say that very often about an opposing coach, but I really like Andy Reid. I mean, I think
he's just a good dude.
Yeah, I think most people do too.
Yeah, I think he's very well liked amongst pretty much everybody. So, but yeah. Anyway, Nick Saban retiring as the unequivocal greatest coach of all time in college football. I don't think that there's any argument there. I think he is far and away probably the best of all time.
Well, the only one that I think probably has a chance of continuing with that would be the same university's head coach for many years was Bear Bryant. I mean,
yeah,
sure. That would be, and let's face it, Nick Saban had a whole lot more to deal with than Bear Bryant did. I mean, that this portal and the NIL drove me crazy. You know it did.
Oh, for sure it had to. Yeah. And he's such a professional. He complained about it probably a little bit, but nothing he just did his thing, and he recruited as best as he could. He used the portal to his advantage in the past couple of years, and I mean, but tailoring to the portal as well as trying to get your high school recruits just seems like almost an impossible task to me.
Well, and I wouldn't want to do it.
I don't know about you, but I do not want to be the guy that follows up.
No,
Nick Saban.
No.
It's
he had a few people in between him. Between him and Bryant. I mean, Bryant retired in 80 something, and they had a few turbulent years. Dennis Francione, Gene Stallings actually won a national title in was it 91 or 90? Somewhere in there.
Not really sure. Actually,
88, 89, I don't know. One of those years, Gene Stallings won a national title, and then he had Ray Perkins for a while, and so, and then who was there before Saban? Can't remember who was there.
I can't remember either.
But at least, now a guy's got to come in and follow a legend, which is almost impossible.
It's near impossible. And, I know Dabo Sweeney's name is going to be thrown out there, but even Dabo, he kind of has, the past 2 years aren't great on his track record to really, excite the Alabama fan base as much as they probably want. I don't know who the guy would be to follow up Nick Saban. I don't want that job. I don't envy the person that has that job.
I'm going to have a hard time finding somebody.
Always going to be compared to one of the best, if not the best of all time. and that's a hard job to do.
I mean, who would? I mean, somebody with a really thick skin and a big ego. Well, really can't have an ego.
That's my thing. Is like, who would want to?
I don't know.
Follow that and
maybe somebody really young who just wants a chance. But I mean, Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, I've heard that, and you know what? That might not be that bad of a hire, knowing that he's not going to live up to, what maybe
transitional.
Yeah, but at least he's almost like a sacrificial lamb, like, because that's what the person's going to be. But in the long run, it sure feels like, It's always like it kind of works that way in the church world after a guy that's been there for
it does
40 years, like
the
pastor guy after them is.
What is it in a relationship? What is that person called that has a relationship before the?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is, but
yeah, like the rebound guy or whatever.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like,
it's gonna be the rebound guy.
That's exactly what it kind of feels like.
Coach, that'd be a good question to ask. I mean, who has followed a legend and been successful?
Well, here's one that comes to mind, and maybe, I mean, truthfully, when you think about it, Tom Osborne.
Yeah, maybe.
Great example of that, where it's like Frank Solich did all he could do.
But they got rid of him awful quick too when he didn't win as much as Tom did.
And even they went to a national championship.
Yeah.
Against Miami, and they didn't win.
Enough.
But shortly after, he's gone.
Maybe Jimmy Johnson following Howard Schnellenberger.
Yeah, I'm like.
But it took him a few years because Howard won that in '83.
I don't know. Is Howard Schnellenberger on the same level as Tom Osborne?
He is in Miami.
He is in Miami,
I'm
sure.
Not. I mean, there's not very many people are even on Tom Osborne's. Well, Tom Osborne followed the legend. I mean,
he did, yeah.
So
Bob
that
Devaney,
might be,
sure.
as close. And he didn't win a national title, but Bob Stoops won a national title at Oklahoma. But then Lincoln Riley came in and took him to 3 straight playoff runs or whatever. So
he did, but he's also not there anymore.
Yeah, he isn't.
His tenure didn't last that long.
So
so
with him retiring now, does this make Texas and Oklahoma maybe soften them up in the SEC now a little?
I don't know. Like it
kind of looks like it.
It does. It's tough to say. Like and how much equity is built up in that program, where it's like they'll probably soar for a couple more years, but maybe that's not the case anymore because the portal.
Yeah.
How many people are going
really
to just hit that thing?
Coach Saban's retiring. I'm out of here. I mean.
Yeah, basically at the end of this sentence, like you're gonna have kids that are like, I'm out.
I mean, it'd be interesting to see. Is the portal open right now?
I believe so. Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how many Alabama players hit the portal.
And they're going to end up at Georgia, and they're just going to become a monster.
Yeah.
Because really, maybe the only guy that could follow up Nick Saban is Kirby Smart.
Now, that wouldn't be a bad hire on their part, but does he really – I mean, he's established his own legacy at Georgia.
He's a Georgia guy.
I don't think he takes that move.
No, I don't think so either, especially what he's built up. And, I mean, they're going to be right in line for a championship next year, so I don't think he'll go anywhere.
I have somebody.
For sure.
I have somebody.
Who?
Jimbo Fisher.
Oh, my gosh. Jimbo. Another sacrificial lamb.
Alabama, we will pay you to take him for the first 5 years. Just help us out a little.
Good Lord. No. Jimbo's a guy. What a guy. Football guy. But Yeah, I mean, I think Dabo probably is he's. I think he's always wanted that job.
Well,
Like,
it might be. It might not be a bad opportunity for him.
yeah, it's how well can he relate to student athletes and all that
I
is
think
just
he
what it's going
relates
to come
just
down
fine.
to. It's like because I think he's lost a little bit of touch with a little bit of reality because he didn't use the portal at all. Like he's like, we're just gonna get these guys
Oh,
from.
he'll use it at Alabama. He'll have to
Yeah, he's
survive.
gonna have
He'll
to. Like
learn.
whoever that
Yeah.
person is gonna have to embrace it.
I mean, even if nobody shunned it off more than Gundy did, and I think he may not acknowledge it, but I think he's figured out a way to build his roster with it.
Right.
And
I
Dabo could too. I mean, Oklahoma
I mean, it's
State's
just
going to be good next year, and I can't believe I'm saying that. They're going to be. They should be considered top 2 or 3 teams in the league next year.
well, isn't it because Ollie's coming back?
Yeah,
right?
and everybody's coming back. They've lost
Yeah,
a couple,
that's kind
but
of crazy.
their key people, the whole offensive line is back, and
Imagine if they can get a
Presley's
quarterback
back,
that
and
can throw.
Bowman's back, and I thought most of the defense is back. I think they're going to be top 2 or 3 in the, I think Arizona's going to be really good. I think probably Kansas State will still be really good. But now
Yeah.
you got Texas and Oklahoma out of the mix. It definitely opens up the opportunity for them. And it's amazing how this has kind of changed because last year, at the end of last year, it's like, oh my gosh, they've squandered an opportunity because in the OU Texas was leaving, and then they barely won enough games to get in a bowl last year. It seemed like, even though they won
Sure.
the first 7, they just didn't play well towards the end of the year. When this year, they kind of played outside their box a little, and I know I'm kind of jumping around a lot. How on earth? Explain this to me. How on earth does Oklahoma finish ahead of Oklahoma State in the poll? Tell me in the final.
It doesn't make sense. It never makes sense.
Do you guys even watch college football?
Yeah,
Now-
it's gonna be and not to mention it's like you're gonna rank them after they lose in a bowl game.
Yes, and they beat them, and they were in the Big 12 championship game.
Yeah,
Now,
it doesn't
they had
make a
one
whole lot
less
of sense
loss,
to me.
but I mean, if you go by that theory, then why is Liberty 25th?
Well, it's just dumb. It is. It's a brand name on the helmet.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
the dumb thing. And you and I have talked about how annoying that is.
I mean,
Us being in Oklahoma.
If you put trust serum in these, sound like Jim Traber, put some truth serum in them. Does he ask them? Did you know that that you ranked OU ahead of OSU and what they did oppose? They beat them for one, and I bet they don't even realize it.
Won their bowl game.
Won their bowl game, which OU didn't, and didn't even play in the Big 12 championship game. So, and they played Texas. I mean, come on, seriously.
Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
I mean, it was one spot, but OU fans will chuckle and go, "Yeah, we still ranked ahead of you." Yeah,
we'll thank you a lot for that.
Somebody was
good luck in the SEC next year. Like, have fun with that.
No kidding.
What are they gonna do when they just constantly go 8-4?
I don't know, because I can't imagine them. They'll have a good run every once in a while because everybody else will be down. But I can't imagine them having season after season of, what they pretty much, at least Oklahoma has, over the last 20 years, a pretty solid dominance. Although, if you compare it, Oklahoma State's had a better record over the last 20 years.
Don't you think they just kind of fall to where Texas A&M has been, where it's like they do have some good years here and there.
But they
they'll
never
probably
really
make the. And with the top 12, they'll make a playoff here and there.
Posers.
But, it's not going to be what it's been.
Yeah, I agree. And, and they were talking about this last week. I don't know if I saw this on social media or if I saw it on a show. But they were talking about how this game marks the last of the regional matchups because the Pac-12 goes away. What's in the Pac-12 goes to either the Big 12 or the Big 10. that there's no longer those regional matchups. I mean, you got Washington against Michigan, that's a regional matchup. You got Texas against Alabama, you got a regional matchup. Especially in this playoffs or the bowl games, that's gone away. Now they may try to recreate it, but it's going to be hard to, like, Washington and Michigan now are conference rivals.
Yeah,
just,
right.
Just kind of takes
and especially played each other in the national championship. That's going to be a little bit of a rivalry.
And
for,
Texas and
for
Alabama are going to be conference rivals, which I don't exactly know why. Well, I do know why, but I don't understand why they weren't thinking of that when they paired. Look, you're pairing people up who are going to play each other next year. And maybe that's what you're thinking, is you're thinking, well, there'll be a rematch, when they play. So
sure.
Draw money.
I don't know, but Michigan, for sure, I mean, they deserve every bit
absolutely
of they get. And, I think there are some people there's a lot of people that don't like them winning.
Yeah, I know.
And listen, I'm sorry, I'm still fighting
You're good.
some stuff here, but they deserved everything 100% the whole year. Like, I really want to go back to our picks that we had, if we could find them somewhere. Like, I think they're lost but I want to say that you picked Michigan and I picked Washington.
The college ones I don't think I kept, but I do have the pros. But that'd be interesting. Well, you picked Washington for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think I did pick Michigan now that I think about it. So,
yeah, I think you did.
In last year's pick. So we were both right. Both played in the national championship. So that's...
Yeah, I mean, we got to feel pretty good about that. But it's just, it's interesting to me what's going to happen. I mean, I don't think that college football, it's so weird because everybody's going to watch it. Like, we're all going to stay interested.
Yeah.
If you're a sports fan, it's gonna be there. But I don't think it's in a great spot unless they figure out some things.
Well, what's going to hurt it is they're going to do their best to pit all the SEC teams in that 12 as best as they can.
And that's the thing is, like, I kind of, tend to think people were upset with having, the SEC school and the Big 12 schools, basically. It's like, I don't think it's going to get better automatically. In fact, I think it's just going to be a playoff between SEC and Big 10 schools. It's just, and then poor Oklahoma State's going to be stuck.
Then, they're going to get...
if they're on that edge between, I don't know, let's say a Texas or a OSU, is they're taking Texas, but maybe that's not the best. But maybe say an LSU or Oklahoma State. Who's going to take Oklahoma State over LSU in that brand name?
They're not.
If they're ranked on the 12, 13, 14, it's like they're taking LSU.
They're taking a 2 or 3 loss LSU over a 1 loss Oklahoma State, I promise.
Yeah, and then on top of that, it's like Notre Dame, same thing. They actually probably end up being
supersede
in the
best
anybody. Spot.
They'll take anybody's spot.
You're going to get so tired of Notre Dame over the next 5 years or 10 years with this situation. It's like, we get a 12-team playoff, but I think that probably matters for maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 schools every year.
Totally, because people are going to get weary of it.
Yeah. Unless they change, change the process of how the teams are picked. If we go back to some sort of bowl championship series, or
did I hear
BCS
correctly?
Or whatever,
the 6 conferences will get an automatic bid.
Yeah, that's supposedly what they're going to do.
And what are the 6 conferences now that you don't have?
Well, it's now that's the thing is like we from what I understood, it's the Power 5 conferences that they get a bid. Right, and then on top of that, the team that is not a part of one of the Power Five conferences, the Group of Five, they get a bid as well. So that would have been Liberty this year.
Okay, let's hold on. Who
Yeah.
are the Power 5 schools or conferences?
So Pac-12, well, not the Pac-12
Yeah.
anymore,
Yeah,
but Big Ten,
Yeah.
SEC,
Yeah.
ACC,
yeah. Big 12.
Big 12,
Who's number 5?
and the Pac-12.
No, the Pac-12 isn't existent.
I know that's what
So you
that
only got
was
4.
the Power Five.
Well,
So yeah, it's basically a Power Four.
But I heard somebody say this week, next year, it'll be the winners of the 6 major conferences and 6 at large. Well, other than the 4 we just mentioned, who are they talking about?
Yeah, they're not it's not. They're not going to give us Sun Belt.
I would think
Yeah, right. Like
Conference
I'm
USA
pretty sure.
or
I'm pretty sure it's going to just be the Power Four.
Power 4 and then 8 at large bids.
Yeah, essentially.
That'll be interesting.
Well, I'm sorry, Power Four plus the Group of Five, the other 5 conferences. So there'll be 5 automatic bids.
So you're saying the highest ranked of the weaker schools?
Correct. The highest ranked of the schools that are not in the Power Five.
Okay. All right. So there's 5
Yep.
automatic bids and then 7 at large.
Right.
I think we should monitor the Vegas and see the over and under on how many SEC schools are actually in the playoff next year.
Yeah, I would guarantee at least 4.
Either that or the Pac-10 or the Pac-10.
Yeah.
Big 10. Sorry, Big 10.
You're gonna get 4 in each, guaranteed.
I would say that's probably reasonable. So it leaves 4 schools.
Yeah.
Doesn't leave very many. Doesn't leave room for Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Baylor, Clemson, which they have to win their thing. But if they don't, I mean, let's say Rutgers comes out of nowhere. What are they, ACC now? Are they Big 10?
No, they're the Big 10.
Oh, yeah, they got no shot. Got no shot.
No shot.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we could debate this all night, but I wished it was. I don't understand if we've done 12, why we couldn't just done 16 like the bowl, the championship series does.
Yeah, right.
Why
like
couldn't we
that's what
just do
everybody else
16?
is.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
And theirs is ranked off regions, which is gonna make it a little bit more difficult if you did that. But they
Sure.
rank the top schools, 2 schools in each region. So there's 8 regions and 2 schools from each.
Yeah.
And that's the way they do it. And it can be political, yes. It's a selection process, but I can remember UCO, Central State, in 1982 when we made it to the national championship. There were schools that did not want UCO, Central State, and there were coaches politicking to keep us out.
Sure.
And with good reason. We're 7-2, only played 9 games because nobody played us. They intentionally tried to boycott us because we were so good, and so we only had 9 games scheduled that year, and we lost 2 of them. And
wow.
Yeah, and still we had enough. Coach Howard had enough juice with the coaches to get them to vote us in, but they're not in '84. They kept them out. They won. They kept, and they only lost 1 game that year. So
Jeez.
yeah. And they were one of the top 6-7 teams in the country then. And then, of course, the '82 when we got in as a 7, we slaughtered everybody all the way to the championship game. We got a tight game in the championship game, but we beat everybody pretty handedly. In the first round game, which was the number 2 team in the country, we beat like 69-20.
Jeez.
That was bad.
Did you end up winning the championship?
Yeah,
that
that's the
year
year they won it. Yeah.
We
played Southern Colorado at Pueblo. When we may have talked at this in our podcast previously of some of the old UCO guys. When we got off the bus, they were sitting there taunting us, telling us that we didn't deserve to be there. Their players were, not just their fans, but their players were.
Interesting.
And then we just laid a dusting on them. I think it was 69-20, something like that.
Jeez.
And then Northeastern, which was up at Tahlequah, had beaten us earlier in the season. We had them down in the fourth quarter, and the weather kind of got on top of us, and we threw some interceptions and lost the game late. And we played them in a rematch at Tahlequah, and for the most part handled them pretty well, beat them by a couple of touchdowns, and then played back here in Edmond to win it. But yeah, it was big. But it was, kind of getting off track there, but it was a very political process and getting in it. And if you go to 16 teams, you're probably going to get more of that. But, I mean, I'd feel better about it if you had 16 instead of 12. But
sure.
If you got 16, why not 32?
Right.
So let's make it 64. No, wait, 68. What is that? Was that?
Yeah, we'll just the whole year is a playoff. Come on.
Is that what the basketball tournament is? 68.
Yeah,
teams?
basketball 64. Jeesh.
That would be fun. That would not
just
be fun.
The whole season is a tournament.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to have how many games? You have to win 5 games to make it to the title.
You'd have to win. I think you have to win 8 games.
No, it's not that many. Because let's just say it's 64. That's you go to 32.
Yeah, it's 5. It's 5 games.
5 games to win it, right? Or is it 5 to get in the championship?
Let's see.
Whatever.
So
5 or 6.
You
can do
64.
That. You stop playing in November 1st anyway. Right?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? That's what they do in high school anyway. So,
yeah.
A lot of states do. They start they could make it happen.
Sure, why not? Well, they said they couldn't do 4 teams, and they said they can't do 12. So
let's just get to 64.
Yeah, let's just do it. Just just jump in the pool now.
Right, do it.
Thoughts on the national championship game? Any last minute thoughts on it?
It kind of, it was. I thought it was interesting. It kind of went the way that I thought it would. I kind of thought that Michigan would win that game. I know I picked Washington, but that was just based on
you were sticking to your guns.
Based on sticking to my guns. But I really did think it could go one of 2 ways. Where I thought, because that offense that Washington has is so interesting. They're kind of wacky in the way that it works, and so I thought maybe they could cause a little bit of chaos for Michigan, but I really thought Michigan just ran the ball and did the thing that they usually do well and played good defense. That they'd control